welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing another chit chat get ready with me fertility update video. I think the last one I did was around 8 months ago, so I'm just giving the update since then. My skin is looking absolutely horrendous at the moment. My rosacea is flared up so bad, and so we're just gonna make this better. Just gonna put a quick face on today because I've got a few videos that I want to get filmed, and then we're going out for Paul's mum's birthday, just take her for something to eat for a birthday. This is just Grwm, or Grwm it's called, Factor 50 face stuff, sunscreen. So I'll just start where the last video left off. So I've had the investigation and whatnot, and they were looking at taking me tubes out, but when the surgeon got in there, there was my fallopian tube and ovary were adhered to my bowel and my pelvic wall. So he wanted the fertility doctor, the fertility consultant, to see whether or not it was worth taking out my tubes, whether that would have any impact on me being able to get pregnant, and whether or not it was worth damaging my bowel to do if it didn't need to be done, if that makes sense. So the fertility doctor got back to me after it had been referred back to him, and he said that basically both my tubes are completely blocked, so there's no real chance of me ever getting pregnant naturally. In regards to removing the tubes, he said because of them being, well, my left one being adhered to my bowel, it's not worth the risk of removing the tube and damaging the bowel. But he did say that the blockage in my tubes, whatever it is, the build-up in the tubes, would leak into my womb and poison any pregnancy that I had in the future. So he advised that the best course of action would be to do tubal clipping. And in the meantime, he suggested that I then spoke to the fertility clinic about starting the ball rolling, because he basically said I will never get pregnant without the help of IVF. So he put me on the list for the tubal clipping on the NHS, and then because we will need to pay for IVF, we don't qualify for any free rounds for IVF, he said get in touch with the clinic straight away. So that's what I did. So I phoned the clinic and we went for a consultation. Obviously both me and Paul had to go. They took our histories, family histories, bloods, height, weight, all that jazz. Paul had to provide a sample, and then you have a proper consultation with the fertility doctor once he's got the results of the blood tests and stuff like that. In the consultation with the fertility doctor, explains that everything's fine with Paul. He went through the levels of, I've forgotten what it's called, but it's the levels that show whether or not you're ovulating, and obviously these can decrease as you get older, and I think it indicates roughly how many eggs you've got or whatever. And basically I'm at the top of the scale for being fertile for my age, so I'll be 38 this month, and I'm at the top of the scale, so I've got a 40% chance of IVF working because I'm at the top of the scale. If I was lower down the scale, then I would have a lesser chance of IVF working. But he did say as well that I've actually got appear to have a really good reserve of eggs as well, so they should have plenty of healthy eggs to be able to gather and, you know, fertilise and whatnot, which is good news. So basically then, after that consultation, we were given like a pack full of consent forms that we had to go away, read, fill in, and then bring back. I think it was between Christmas and New Year. And I was going through the forms and it was saying things like, it has been explained to you about this. You are aware of this. And I was like, no, that's not being explained to me at all. I kind of feel like we've kind of like been rushed in and nothing's been fully explained as to what's going to happen, what the process is properly, and where it's just very wishy-washy. And I don't know. I don't get great vibes from it all, if I'm honest. So when we went to take the consent forms back, I said I haven't signed a couple of these because I've not been provided with this information that I'm signing off saying that I have been given. And the nurse said, oh no, that is the information. That is your notification of this information, is the letter that you then sign. Nobody's spoken about it with me, which I just think is poor, to be honest. I really do. And I feel like because we're paying for it and, you know, it's a lot of money, I just feel like we're not really getting the attention that we should be getting for what we're paying for. And it kind of feels like we're just getting rushed through because it's just like, get that money, baby. Do you know what I mean? Like they just want the money. They're not really bothered. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just get that feeling kind of thing. I don't feel totally at ease with it all. I'm just going to do my eyebrows without talking. I'll be back in a second. So in between me having the consultation with the fertility doctor and then signing the consent forms, I had the procedure to clip my tubes. When I'd spoken to the fertility doctor and I told him basically what was advised for me to do, he said that's actually better than if they had have removed the tube, because there's a vein, an artery or something that pumps blood to the ovaries. So when they take the fallopian tubes, they also take the blood vessel as well. So it's actually better for the health of the ovary if you just get the tubes clipped, because they don't interfere with that blood source. So I was like, oh, that's brilliant. So I went in to have the procedure on the 2nd of December. And obviously you have a quick, like, little consultation with the surgeon, go through everything that's going to be happening during the procedure, sign your consent forms and all that jazz. And he said to me, so we're going to look at taking your fallopian tubes. And I was like, no, that was not what was discussed with me previously. And I've actually spoken to the fertility doctor about what was going to happen, and he said that it would be better just to clip the tubes because of the potential damage to the ovaries if the fallopian tubes and the blood supply are taken. And he was like, well, there's no evidence for that. And I was like, well, I don't consent for you to take me fallopian tubes. He was like, all right, okay, that's fine, we'll just clip. So I had the procedure done, and when I woke up I was in considerably more pain than I've been in the previous laparoscopies and investigations that I've had done before, to the point where I did actually need painkillers before I left. I honest to God, it was absolutely horrendous. But I just wanted to get out of there, so I ate this really dry cheese butty. I was just scranning whatever I could just so that I could get out. But yeah, I was in so much pain, the most pain I've ever been in coming around from a procedure, including me 2 operations on my brain. Just absolutely horrendous. Obviously you go through your discharge notes with the nurse before you leave, and what she basically said was that I had 4 incisions. So I had one through my belly button, one on either side, and one down by like my pubic bone. And what she said was they'd gone in and they could just about find like me fallopian tubes to put the clips on, because there's so much scar tissue inside. And she said, you've got pelvic inflammatory disease, and they're taking biopsy of the cells to see whether or not you've got like endometriosis type thing, because apparently there's like, I can't remember if she said 43 or 47 different types of like endometrial cells along those lines. So they're taking a biopsy to see what has caused all this scar tissue, but you have got pelvic inflammatory disease. My husband came and picked me up, and the ride home was absolutely horrendous. It was just the most pain I've ever been in my life. And I was so grateful that my mum had come to stay, because she was actually meeting up with friends, because she lives in North Wales. I was so grateful that she was there, because I needed like that support. And it was just horrific. I had to sleep sitting up for about 3 or 4 days. The pain all over my body was it was just horrendous. It was awful, and I actually feel a bit traumatized from it, to the point where I'm really scared about having to go through something along those lines again. I've never really been afraid to have an operation before, but that has seriously put me off having that kind of procedure done. My labia downstairs, one of them was so swollen. I was walking like John Wayne. It was, I don't know why it was so swollen. I don't know whether they've leaned on me funny or what, but that was incredibly painful on top of everything else. It was just awful. It was, I don't want to put anybody off, but I just want to be honest about how bad it was. It was just horrendous. That has definitely been the worst experience of my life, and since then I've been in some sort of pain or discomfort every single day since. Yeah, it's not been great at all. That's kind of why as well my videos have slowed down, because I'm constantly in pain, which makes me tired, and I've got no motivation to do anything when I'm in pain and I'm tired. So it's having like an impact on like my general day-to-day life kind of thing. And I was expecting somebody to ring me within about 4 weeks, I think the discharge nurse had said, because obviously they had to send the biopsy cells off to be biopsied and looked at and whatnot. So when I hadn't heard anything by March, I gave them a ring, because I didn't want to go ahead with the IVF until I knew what the result of this biopsy was. So I rang them up and just said, you know, I'm waiting for somebody to call me back in regards to a procedure that I had in December and a biopsy result and whatnot. And she said, let me just check, you're on the list. Yeah, you're on the list to be called back, but there's a backlog, so I'd wait another month. I had the procedure done in December and I didn't get a call back about it until April. Now I know they've got a backlog, especially because of COVID, but I've been in pain for all that time, and you know, it would be nice to speak to somebody before then. Okay, I'm just going to put on my lashes and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I finally got the call in April, and basically what he said was, confirmed, definitely got pelvic inflammatory disease. So all the back pain that I've had for about 6 years is probably down to this pelvic inflammatory disease. He couldn't tell me what caused it because I've never had an STI, so it can't be that. So he doesn't know what has caused it. He said it'll be an infection of some sort, or trauma, I think he said. So I don't know what's caused it, but I've now got that for life. In regards to the pain as well, because I forgot to mention my periods since have been absolutely horrendous. I'm literally having to just lay in bed and take painkillers and not move with my periods when they're getting really, really bad. It's just been awful. Absolutely awful. He did say that that was unusual, so he could refer me to the gynecological clinic for further investigation, but I'm just going to go ahead and go for the IVF first. I feel like I can't put it off any longer. As I say, I'm 38 this month, my husband's 50 at the end of this year. I don't want to put off trying for a baby any longer. So he did say that in the future, if I still wanted the pain and whatnot to be looked at, that I would need another referral from my GP. So that is the plan. Go for IVF first, and then if I'm still having issues further down the line, then look at getting another referral for that to be investigated. So at the moment, I'm literally just waiting for my next period, because I need to phone the fertility clinic on my first day of my next period, and they will get me in and look at the dosage that they need to give me injection wise. The injections are to stimulate the ovaries to open the follicles so that the eggs can be extracted and just get the eggs ready for releasing and fertilising kind of thing. So that's where we're at the moment. As soon as my next period comes, I'll be ringing the fertility clinic to start the process for that, for IVF. So just a quick little update while I did my makeup. If you have also had tubal clipping, can you let me know either down below or DM me on Instagram, and just let me know whether or not you also experience daily pain, whether it's settled down, whether you're still having it, whether you've had it looked into, what the issue was. Just because he says it's unusual, like the doctor said it's unusual, but I don't think that this is unusual to experience pain when you've got foreign objects in your body, like clamping your bits. Do you know what I mean? So let me know if, as I say, if you've had it and if you're experiencing any pain. That'd be really good to know. So that is everything for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, then please subscribe. Bye!